What's going on is the Wolf, and we are back with another episode of the Wolf Has Spoken podcast. And I'm excited again, as always, because I find myself joined by the one and only Mr. Q.
Yes, sir.
A.K.A. Cubicle.
Alrighty then.
A.K.A.
Out the gate with the smut.
Quebeca.
Okay.
A.K.A.
He's a rapper. All right. Cool.
No, man, what's going on, man? We back with another episode. I'm excited, man. It's a beautiful day, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? First and foremost, before we get into it, let me get the show me back. Shout out to her fantasy box. Make sure y'all
Sure.
tap in and go shop with them. And before we, let's might as well, since I'm on the sponsors, we might as well talk about it. Shout out to Simply 100. They sponsored me with the outfit. If y'all ever looking to get me in your brand, get with me. I gotta like it. I love this. This is amazing. In fact, get me on the wire. Let me stand up real quick.
It's all right. You know, he's a guy.
No, it's just on fire. Q. We were just talking about how he wanted one. Make sure you start with a shot with
I
Simply
swore I
100.
requested two, but nigga just one.
I mean,
you kept
one
mine.
per person.
You kept.
Yeah, one per person.
Oh, okay,
But all in all, another thing too, man, real quick, I want y'all to, I got a recommendation for you guys. If you are out there and you need your credit built, you need it repaired, you got some negative items on there, you know, you got some inquiries that you're trying to remove, you got some late payments, you got some repos, evictions, student loan debt, my guy, Mogul Leem, is the person that you need to go to for all your credit repair needs. This isn't just somebody that I'm directing you to because they asked me to. I'm telling you because he personally has gotten items removed off my credit. He's personally is helping me build my credit right now. He helps people get business funding, and that's the person. Y'all gonna hear me talk about him a lot because, like, I'm excited about the stuff that came off my credit. Like, to be transparent, like, I had a repo on my credit. He got the repo off my credit, so I'm about to give y'all a lean direct number because that's how much I want y'all to use it. You know what I'm saying? So call this number. It's Riley Beckett Enterprises is the name of the business, but his name is Mogul Leem. The number is 267-303-5938. Once again, that's 267-303-5938. And be sure, if you're watching this from the podcast, to let him know that the Wolf has sent you. I'm still a businessman. The Wolf has sent you. So make sure y'all do that. All right, man, let's get into it. We back with another episode. You got the notes open. I'm excited. Let's talk.
Ready for the topic? All right. So
Your dad, that's what we're talking about.
Right, my dad. Yeah.
Before you get into the topic, what's going on with your dad?
He remembered. God.
Wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, so if you've seen previous episodes, if you haven't, go back, watch it out, watch it. But long story shorter, about the past to get people updated. Me and my dad weren't in the best of space. Relationship kind of strained, and it could have been culpability on both sides of men just being kind of just stubborn or whatever type shit, whatever. So whatever. So I say all to say, recently my daughter's birthday, my baby turned 4. And I haven't spoken. Me and my dad really speak. Like, we speak every few months, whatever. Again, and it's not the type of thing where it's like it's beef, right? Like, I don't fuck with you or this and that. We're just like, oh no, we kind of just like distance or whatever. So he didn't come to her last birthday party. It wasn't like a thing. We don't talk about him coming. Because my dad, he doesn't live in Philly, whatever. So it wasn't a thing of him being invited to the party. It wasn't a thing, whatever. But long story short, he ended up popping up. Surprise, we came in for the weekend, and it just really kind of made me realize, like, cool. And we got a chance to talk about the thing that's going on, whatever. But you know what? I appreciated that. I liked it. And seeing my daughter react to him just like on an innate type thing, I'm like, no, this nigga related to me. Like, yeah, that's my papa, whatever. And I can't lie. If she kind of just like, nigga, I don't know you, then it might be like, oh, cool, kind of, it's whatever.
Right. Like, you would have kept your energy.
Right.
Same energy.
But seeing my daughter have that innate gravitational pull to, oh no, like, this is just a dope moment, whatever. Yeah. And kind of made me like, no, what? That's your olive branch. The least I could do is, I ain't about to say, oh no, yeah, that is all fixed or whatever. Yeah. But you know what? I'm gonna go to Chicago now.
Yeah,
like,
and that's thorough.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Chicago.
That's thorough.
And this next year or whatever, it made me realize also whatever we got going.
Next year, nigga, it's January. It's like, no.
I'm not going to Chicago in wintertime. That's anything. But also, outside of our relationship, wherever it may be, whatever, because he also came here with like messages and sentiments saying, yo, Q, like such and such said they ain't see you in a while, they never met your daughter or whatever. Some people sent gifts to my daughter.
He came with good energy.
Right, exactly. And outside of our bond, it's a lot of people I fuck with in Chicago. It's a lot of people I have, because I got my own life going on. It's a whole state away. I got a kid now, whatever. Yo, Q, I ain't seen you in years.
Oh, they got discarded.
I never even met your daughter before or whatever. And like, I had like a quarter of my life was in Chicago. I spent several summers there.
Yeah, you got little friends out there.
Yeah, and all in all, my whole daughter's birthday party made me realize, like, again, I'm the type of person where I embrace my community, my village. I like tapping in with people. Yo, let's go here. Let's do happy hour, whatever type shit, whatever. Let's talk. And I feel I could do even more in regards to my daughter's community. So, and I like, because I'm so innate with my shit, like, no, like, my daughter
You're so used to just being about you.
Right. All right, so smut. But it's like, no, I can just do more. You know what? let's do a little play date. One of my friends got a niece and they the same age. Like, you know what? Yeah, I'll take Queen over. They could just fuck around. They both doors or whatever.
Run around, break some shit, whatever.
My girl got siblings, they got kids, and yo, cute, bring Queen up. She can sleep over. She got cousins here, like, right. And because I be thinking about my own shit with my door, yo, we doing this, or it's like, no, she can be with other people that can be experiences for her life and her community, her village. And that's how you grow up and have these life bonds. Like, yo, like
it's on us to do it,
right? Yeah.
Like, it's funny to your point about that, because I still want to hear more about. Did you land a plane with your dad? Like,
yeah, that was it. I'm going to Chicago, and we're gonna see where it goes from there. Just take it kind of day by day, and just if it's good energy, it's good energy.
That's what's up. I want to unpack that, because that's a pivotal moment, and I want to issue my respect. But prior to, when we talk about like the kids' schedule, ain't it funny how much of their productivity is contingent upon our willingness?
Yeah.
And not a lot of parents take that into account. Now, I will get a moms this. Moms do take that into account. They literally revolve their whole entire schedule around the kids. As dads, you know, we active dads, now we see it. But if you're not a dad that's like there on a day-to-day, you don't understand how much of your kid could not be in no extracurricular activities, not have friends outside of school, not have relationships with other family members, children, if not for your effort and your intentionality. And I've known that for my own children, because I got 2 kids and they have separate moms. So I was and my daughters have a great relationship. And you got to think, there's so many people who have dad side siblings who don't have no relationship. Right. My daughters are dad side siblings and they have a great relationship. And it's because from day one, I was intentional about having them around each other, always getting one and the other, always making sure that they call each other, they communicating, they talking, and putting them in spaces to bond. But how that kind of could be amplified outside of that is going, like you just said, going to family members' children's birthday parties, going to the kids in the school, stuff that they might be having on the weekends. And if you're a parent who don't have the energy or the mental capacity, or you burnt out, or you just don't, the only time you get rid of the kids is just to get rid of them, and it's not really to formulate, cultivate, and nurture relationships, you could be depriving them of them 10, 15, 20-year friendships, because we have to acknowledge the fact that we grew up outside and they didn't. So our moms wasn't really in control of our relationships, because we literally started with the neighborhood. It's like whatever community you was in proximity of is the neighborhood, the relationship that you built up until you started to travel and see other things. But if we had to rely on the way we parent, where just a lot of technology, a lot of intentional A to B situations, not a lot of outside running around hide and go seek activity, yeah, a lot of these kids probably ain't gonna have the relationships we got organically, because they really don't know their cousins. They really don't know their aunts. They really don't know their uncles. They really don't know. So the fact that, you know, to tie it full circle, that's what you grabbed from that moment. Like, you know what? I'm not just gonna acknowledge the growth in the direction that I'm gonna build with my father. I'm also gonna take this as an opportunity to build my daughter's community. So I like that phrase, like building the kids' community.
Yeah, and to build off that, and to your point in regards to our situation, because I am intentional about like those A to B things, like it's a birthday party or it's a cookout. But what I realized is I could do better or more with like the miscellaneous time. Again, like me and my cousins were close when we were growing up, because it wasn't just like I went to the birthday party. It's like, no, I just randomly was at my grandma's house. Right, exactly. I don't know. I could do more of those things. You know, like she's go to her cousin's house because it's her cousin's house. Yeah. And she can go to like my friend's niece's house because y'all click, like,
and y'all cousins too,
right? Exactly. So I'm like,
all them fake ass cousins.
Because I got my own life going on, and I'm always like, oh yeah.
Shout out to the cousins. I didn't mean to smut the cousins.
Oh, you got your daughter birthday? Oh no, say like it's on my calendar. We gonna be there, whatever. Yeah. But like, oh yo, is your daughter doing anything next Saturday? Like just because. Yeah.
And it's funny, right? Because one thing that I prided myself on was like my house. I wanted my kids to have that. I'm gonna Uncle such and such house, like because like I felt like my mom be like she did it for the first 2 generations of grandkids, and now she's at the great stage of having great grands, and she just like, I'm not about to be a great grandmom. I'm about to be outside and get my shit off, which I love and respect about her. But that element was missing. So I always would allow, whether it's my goddaughter, my nieces, they literally grew up in my apartments or whatever, wherever I was living, they have like real memories of being able to say we're all going to Uncle Naeem's house. They all would just hit me in a group chat, Uncle Naeem, can we all come to your house? And it's like, I would allow them to have that, let them run around, jump around, do little stuff. Now, it's crazy because when I just had the actual house, I didn't allow nobody over because I was at a burnt out phase of having the kids every day. I'm like, I don't want no fucking kids that ain't mine in this house doing shit that I don't want to do. But in reality, I will give myself the credit and the grace for the fact that for over 10 years, literally, my daughter 15, since she was born, I've gave my nieces, my nephews. So I got a great relationship with that batch of, you know, up to the ones that's like 18, 19 now. And the other ones was a part of the growth with me and my mom and stuff like that. But the ones that didn't have to come over, got a great relationship with them because I created that space where, like you said, it's just a Saturday and they are able to pull up. Once I got the house and I was just doing the family dynamic though, dealing with it all day, every day, I can see how somebody was like, nobody cares coming over this motherfucker because you clean up.
B.
Yeah, A to B. It become A to B, motherfucker. You wouldn't have been the party, I'll be there, but you're not just coming to kick it. A girl I call my sister used to bring my goddaughter over just on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and I would love it, but at the same time, I'm like, this is enough. It's like, we don't need no extra, like, you can come with her, don't tell nobody it's happening. But yeah, if you out there, man, be intentional about that kids community because they need it, and we as parents need it too, just to be around like-minded individuals and talk about what it is to be dads. Like, I love the fact that we could talk about parenting. It's like, that's a dope dynamic in our relationship because we have things that we can agree on and disagree on or give each other perspective on as parents and learn from. So, you know, and just we could probably do more kid like friendly shit. Like on a Saturday, everybody bring the kids bowling, you know. And I see, my other spot is in Atlanta. That's one thing I will say they do because almost all of them motherfuckers is married with families. Like almost all of the friends I have out there, the people I got relationships with, are they're family men, whatever it may be, which is a good representation. And you know, that's what I am internally. Like inside, I know that's what, you know, I'm ultimately am. Even if my kids don't live down there when I go down there, but if I had them down there, I know like I got some places that, because they all be like, yo, we all about to take the kids to go pumpkin, about to go take them hayride, about to go do this. And I'm telling my daughter this when I was just with them, I'm like, yo, like when y'all down there, other kids, they have intentional things for the children where they like, yo, we taking the kids here. So, you know, wherever state you in, wherever you at in your life, it don't got to cost that much. Be intentional about those Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays where it ain't an A to B situation. You know, just not Mondays.
You gonna say something about my dad, I think?
Oh, no, I was just gonna give you credit. I was just gonna say, like, the fact that you didn't go back the way that we talked about, maybe the way I suggested it, which is fine because you don't have to take nobody's suggestion, but you allowed your heart to be lightened through the moment, which gave you the same solution or end result that I was trying to push you towards in a way that fit you. So it was like you got to see through your kid and be like, you know what? I ain't even mad at that shit no more. We're going to start from here. And that's all I was basically trying to say. So I'm just giving you your credit for arriving at that moment. So
fair.
Shit again for that. My man.
Yeah. Side note, so one thing that always been
Here comes this mic. Come on.
No smart. I'm curious to your take on this. So one thing I've always found interesting on like shows or movies, whatever, is like when I see like relationships or marriages go through like certain like what I think situations that aren't that deep, and it really separates the people in a relationship. So for instance, you ever watch The Game?
The show.
Yeah. Football John.
Melody and Darwin.
Yeah. I used to talk to the show. So I remember one time the character in there, Jason Pitts, he was taking steroids at one time. And he was high. So my point is also, I'll find interesting when people hide from their wives and their husbands.
Oh, yeah.
He was taking steroids and he was hiding from his wife at a certain point.
Yeah, so I remember vaguely.
Right. And originally it was kind of like just a shame thing. He didn't want to tell nobody. Cool, I understand that. But then once his wife found out, she kind of like, nah, nigga, I'm going to expose you if you don't do it, this and that, whatever. And I was just like, the least of my concerns if I was doing something like taking steroids is me hiding from my wife. Because the last thing I would think is
my wife gonna tell me.
Right, and you not riding. Like it's like
I like this money that I'm making it benefits you too.
Right, like ain't like I killed somebody. So like what the fuck? Wait, bitch, I'm taking steroids.
Moral compass strong as shit. Motherfucking moral compass on fucking Popeye spinach.
Right, so to me, like, how are you with trust in relationships? Like, are there certain things we not, but it's certain bound. Even if I love you, we together, maybe at a certain time, but certain things we're not going to partake in. But I'll say first, so with my girl, and we got for so long now, whatever. It ain't really too many things, if anything, I could think off the top of my head that I wouldn't tell her, as far as like something I did or I'm doing that. Bitch, you better hold it down.
Yeah.
That last thing I'm thinking is like, you not holding this down. It's like you're gonna be like, either you about to help me plot further where to put the body at, like, or you're gonna be like,
you gonna grab a shovel?
Yeah, like, or you're gonna be like, cool.
Yeah, like either we gonna mind your business or it is your business.
Right, like
you're not about to make it your business to tell my business.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But no, to answer the question, when I think about trust in a relationship, you know what I mean? I'm like fully transparent. Like I got a strong conviction within my own spirit to where as though like I can't withhold certain things. I can't omit. And it's like even when I've tried to, it just doesn't sit right with my spirit. So it's not like, you know, it started from me just wanting to be this holy Samaritan. It was like, nah, like my spirit, the conviction that I feel, the guilt that I feel if I'm not transparent, if I'm withholding, if I'm not sharing certain things, is so strong and present and prevalent that I can't bear it. So it strengthened my desire to be upfront, but it also strengthened my desire to want that. So that's like a prerequisite for a relationship with me. I know that women got their to the grave moments and you'll never know everything about them. But for me, I don't respect omission. I don't respect you holding or withholding valuable information that could alter the way I see a situation just because you don't want me to see you differently in that situation. I want you to give me the freedom and the luxury to be able to think for myself and see the situation off my own perspective and trust my love for you will supersede whatever judgments you think I might have. So when I think about it, I feel like I only want to be with a person that I can be completely transparent with and that can be completely transparent with me for whatever reason in any situation. Like you said, it's like, I would much rather I know you got my back more than I got to worry about. Like, why would I have to hide something from you? How can we really say we together if our trust is predicated on certain things that we can't even discuss? It's like, no, like some things don't need to be discussed. And it's like, I trust that you got my best interest, so we don't got to go into the details. But I shouldn't feel like you ain't going to bring me certain things because you think what I'm going to think about you, or you think it's going to obscure my perspective of you, or I shouldn't want to do that either. And then from another nutshell, it's like, that just put the relationship at risk. Because it's like, who are you taking this information to, and who do you trust more than you trust me? So a prerequisite for me is I gotta trust you unwaveringly. I gotta trust that you got my back behind my back. I gotta trust that you're gonna always keep it 100 with me, and I gotta trust that you're gonna allow me to think for myself in a way that you know that whatever I'm thinking is gonna benefit the overall bigger picture. It's not a selfish perspective that I'm coming from, or you can't have one in a situation. And going to the whole, the only thing I think that I wouldn't tell my woman is the things that I will have to protect her from. This isn't about infidelity when I say that. I'm saying, like, if you know how like you do something, right? Say you use the term of burying something, having to bury a body. If I'm not sharing it, it's because if you ever get questioned about this, I want you to be able to legitimately say, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not about to not tell you, because if you ever, I feel like I'm gonna tell my woman anything that could come up to hurt her. Anything else, if it's something that I can make a judgment call on, it's like, I'm not about to tell my kids I'm struggling.
Yeah, I don't need you.
Like, I don't need you to know this. Like, I'm not telling my kids I'm struggling. I'm not about to tell and I say that to women. I've been like, well, I just want to know because I want to help. So is you going to tell your son that the light's about to be off? You going to tell your daughter that? No. Why? Because you're going to figure it out. That's how we going to do it as men. So when I think about the withholding, I'll withhold information that'll create a headache for her. That's going to then in turn create a headache for me. But anything that could be detrimental to us, I'm never going to withhold. And anything that's personal where it's like, oh, she got a health problem or something, I got to share that shit so we can work through this together. We a team. We are not each other's opponent. And if you feel like you got to hide anything from me, that's clearly a disconnect. And you letting me know that you don't think that we on the same team. Somewhere in the deep back of your mind, you think that I'm going to judge you. And if you can't remove that fear of my judgment, because my judgment is not judgment. It could be constructive criticism that can make you better. It could be what you exactly need, the solution you need to make us better. And if you feel like you got to withhold that from me, we not in a relationship, we in a secret.
In a secret?
It's just I don't even know what word to put behind it. It's just a fucking, it's a fuck. And what I mean by that is, we in the chamber of secrets.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there we go. We in the chamber of secrets.
So to bring it back, so to your point though, with that steroid thing, the situation where you, because she don't got nothing to do with football. So
no, it's like, yeah, I mean, I feel like if you not telling somebody because you're embarrassed, you got to muster up the courage to just say what it is, because that's the purpose. That's how you create a safe space. You can't create a safe space if you never allow yourself to be vulnerable. You follow what I'm saying? Like, it's not like you don't even know if the space is safe because you're guarded. You're apprehensive. You're reserved. So you going into the situation saying you don't got nobody you can lean on, but you're never allowing yourself to lean on somebody. So I'm not going to hide that. I've shared some deep shit with every woman I've ever dealt with. Like, and it ain't no, I don't know where y'all mind going. I say some deep shit. It ain't that deep. But I'm just saying, like, things that you don't have to share, things that I could have just kept to myself, but I'll just be transparent. Like, if the motherfucker was out there taking steroids and that's what the motherfucker, and this, of course, is a hypothetical situation, I wouldn't feel like, that's like a motherfucker say they got a pill problem. You know, you should share that with your partner because maybe they can help you away from it. You got a drinking problem. You got a gambling problem. Like, your problems are not things that you should have to conceal and hide. They're things that you should present so you can create a common resolve and a solution that better fits the bigger picture. But if you feel like you can't tell somebody your problem, then maybe that's not somebody that you trust enough to be in a committed relationship with, and just be honest with yourself about that. And go find a person, like your therapist. Like, it should be that sense of that element. Like, because I tell my therapist shit, so why wouldn't I tell my woman? Unless it's some shit she don't need to know for the betterment of her safety and security.
Or you fucking your therapist.
Never touching my therapist.
I didn't say you. I said, why you guilty?
My mom.
Why you guilty?
No, I guess you're right. It wasn't a guilt thing. I think it was more so, I think because I was referencing me, when you referenced that, I think I just internalized it. But if there's a woman out there, right, who's not my therapist, but she has the therapeutic qualities that make me feel seen and heard.
Side note, now time for smut for women. So I feel oftentimes men, now of course, I get it, but men usually get like the smut and the baggage, like, men be homophobic and shit like that, whatever. But I feel, hot take, women are really the ones that be homophobic. And I feel they even projected onto things that just have nothing to do with anything.
I think, go ahead.
So in regards to like, all the time, women be like, niggas want to be around niggas all the time. They want to be your friends and this and that. Why you want to play the game? Like all this, like what niggas like.
That's all manipulation. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. Like it's just a sense of knowing. Like if nothing you could say is going to propagate that into my mind to make me see anything wrong, because it's not what you think. So it's like you're not about to manipulate me because you see the world that way, and that, like you said, like that's their own projection. But truth be told, and a person said this in my comments, most of the, and we all know this, most of the time they do little weird shit. So it's like, because y'all do little weird shit, y'all can't see the world as normal. It's like, you gotta understand, it's like, normal. No, your experiences shape your perspective.
For sure.
So if you grew up seeing kids, you know, and I don't want to get too deep with this, but say if you know it was normal for a kid to be adult to be affectionate with a kid, that don't strike you in a weird way. That's her fucking dad. That's her mom. That's his mom. Like, you're not thinking of it that way. But if you was a kid who had an experience that was like from an adult, you see the world as an adult differently. So when those normal or would be normal interactions seem fishy because you had a fishy experience, but that's your own experience. So it's like when you think about the relationships we build as men in the brotherhood, is just wanting to be. It's about being around like-minded individuals that you share a common space. We're like, all right, we're both dads. We could talk about father, you are a provider, a protector, so we share that like-mindedness. So yeah, I can spend on yo, I'm gonna talk to my homie about this, and yeah, we both like the game. You don't want to play the game. You think the game is stupid. This person likes basketball. He understands where I'm coming from. It's no different than when they go find community with their female friends about niggas ain't shit. We don't find community with the bitches ain't shit community. It's like, I'm gonna go play the game. The same dynamic of me wanting to go play basketball or be around my friends and hit the gym and all that is the same way y'all want to go talk about the niggas ain't shit. It's not, we don't know what y'all do on girls trips and all that. So if we going on a pod trip or a bro trip, trust me, we ain't thinking like that. Nigga, that shit don't even cross niggas' mind because that's not our experience. So it's like, I'll have no reason to see that as wrong because it's not, I don't have evidence to support it being a thing. So when you think about it, because they do little weird shit, they see the world the way they see the world. And I'm not saying we're not putting this on everybody, but typically the ones you're speaking about that have that perspective is because they know what the fuck they be doing. So they think that it must be, oh, it gotta be that. And I feel like whatever they don't understand about men, they automatically try to deem it to be like some shit like that. It's like, yo, y'all gotta chill with that shit. Like, I ain't saying that world don't exist, but like, keep motherfuckers, the world is the world, but it's like, that's not the world of every man. Like, fuck that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some niggas are just men. It's like, just because we men don't mean we got a dislike or a disdain. It's like, no, we don't have no thought. I don't have no thought about it. It's just what it is.
And just because a man likes spending time with anybody other than his girl, like, yo, that's the
manipulation.
Yeah, like, it could be, good. Like, it could be another girl too. Yeah. Now, if you with your niggas, like, niggas is doing whatever, y'all doing too much with your girl, you fucking the bitch. It's like, yo, like, I just like other people in the world outside of you. Like, that's all it is.
Like the objective. I love you, but I also got other people that I want to spend time with. Yeah. But the objectiveness in men makes us understand that we know we can't be everything for a woman. They tend to try to fulfill voids that we didn't ask them to fulfill. We never act. They say, y'all want a girl to be this, to be that. No, we really just wanted y'all to cook, have our back, shut the fuck up sometimes, you know, fuck when we ready to fuck, and literally just be chill. Like, we ain't really asking for that much. All of the therapists and this, y'all wanted to be, y'all want a girl to be y'all homie. No, niggas,
we gotta watch football with you.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. No, listen, no, you don't gotta watch football. What happens is y'all want to be included, so in the things that we love, so we try to incorporate you. It's not a requirement. You don't never have to watch football in your life. You don't have to know who LeBron James is, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan. You don't even have to know. I actually think it's funny and cute when a girl don't know shit about sports. You don't gotta try to put a parlay in to relate to me. But because you want more of my schedule, this is what I'm doing on Sunday. And if you want to be here on Sunday, this is what's taking place. So you can take a liking to it, or I'll see you on Tuesday, because I'm gonna watch Monday football too. So when you think about it, I feel like going to the whole grand scheme of them just wanting to fulfill voids that we never asked them to fulfill. Yeah, we want you to be somebody that we could talk to, but y'all y'all want to be that more than we even make it that. Nigga, keep his thoughts to itself. Y'all want to extract how you feel, how is your day. You don't bring nothing to me. You don't talk to me about this. So now we're trying to be intentional because we want to preserve the relationship. So we incorporating y'all in things, and then y'all make it like y'all being forced to be this. Nah, in reality, men don't ask for much from y'all. We really just be wanting respect, appreciation, loyalty, and time and attention when it permits itself. But because they want to spend, a woman would be jealous of a game. You spend too much fucking time with that game. It's a fucking game. Like, what are you talking? Then you on the phone with your friends. They playing the game as well. Like, you acting like we just don't have no fucking purpose. Like, we just on the phone breathing. Like, but all in all, I say that to say, just like, yeah, like to your point, like, you know, they would, if they could, they would be up under us 24/7. We love that. But we also understand that balance of I want to serve you and I want to experience this. And if you could be in, like, if you just my soulmate and you like football as much as I like football, you like this much, I like that, then we're going to have more reason to spend time together. But even in school, you ain't spend all day in one class.
Right. And even if y'all do have that great chemistry, a person, man or woman, you have the right to be like, no, cool, yo, we can do any and everything together. But you know what? I actually just want to go see such and such.
That's fine.
It should be just like, all right, cool. Like, all right, like, and like I said, many men, please go.
Yeah,
go with Ashley, go with fucking, you know, Kelly, whatever.
That's like, they be like, niggas don't want us to do. What are you talking about? Yes, we do. Like, I don't know. So much we can unpack. But with these type of conversations, I like to have them discussions when women guests are present. Because I like it in real time.
Shout out to our female guests.
Shout out to the female guests. Because I love the dynamic. Like, and that's why I always encourage men to never take this shit personal. Like, and you got to know who you are as a man so that their projections and their attempts to manipulate won't affect who you are in spirit. Because if somebody try to project how they see the world onto you and got you thinking, shit, that the way what you do and how you spend your time is wrong, or now you gonna try to become a version of you that's not you. You got to be so steadfast in who you are as a person that someone's projection of their perspective onto your way of living shouldn't even matter. It's like, you got to know, like, what the fuck make me happy? I like playing football. I like playing basketball. I'm not about to allow you to weaponize and villainize me into being wrong for doing what I like to spend time on. Another thing I'm going to say, just because we talked about breakups previously, and I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, yo, what y'all got to understand is because a lot of women have never experienced an actual good man, unfortunately, and then the ones that didn't even recognize that they had good men, and the lack of accountability in which that just don't exist in their world. And it's not a smut. This is just when I say in their world, I'm saying like they wasn't born into it. So the fact that that's not like a prerequisite of womanhood to just be an accountable person, they don't even look at the men that they lost and fucked up with and talk about that. They only talk about the bad experiences that they've had, and then they just perpetuate that cycle. But what I want the men to understand is, and for the ladies out there, is a difference between somebody being a bad guy and somebody being the bad guy. And what I mean by that is, a bad guy is just a bad guy. This nigga just got bad character. He's abusive. He's manipulative. He's narcissistic. He's just all of the worst possible things that you could possibly be as a man. He's so bad of a guy that the men around him don't even want to be around him. He's so bad that it shows up in his friendships, his relationships with other people, with his mom, with his dad. Like, you just know that this is just a bad dude. I don't want nothing to do with this dude. He doesn't have good character. You can tell if a dude is a bad guy because men won't fuck with him. Men won't respect him. But if you looking at a man and he get all this respect from men, everybody else in the world, and it's just this one person that it just don't click with, right? And the person is like, oh, he's just that way with Charles. Y'all don't know the real him. 99% of him is that, but the 1%, the 1% that nobody else know but you. But whatever. Now you going out the bad guy, right? And what I mean by that is that's because it don't matter how good of a guy you could be in a relationship. If a woman has a victim mindset, she's going to turn you into the bad guy. What tends to happen is men try to salvage what they can within their character because you want people to not feel like you this badass person, and you try to maintain this sense of, no, you gonna show up in her life to try to show her you're not who she think you is, but in reality, you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole that you didn't create. So you got to understand that if a woman has a victim mindset, no matter how good of a man you are, she's going to turn you into the bad guy. Be okay with being the bad guy. Just don't never be a bad guy. Don't never give her evidence to support her claims of you being the bad guy, meaning like you beating on her, you cheating on her, you doing all of these different things that don't mean every cheater is a bad guy. I'm just saying, like, you don't even want to give her evidence to support that claim of that. You want it to be almost where it's like, nah, like, you're just playing victim. You're not taking accountability. That shit just rub, and people will be able to pick up on that. So I say that to say, like, when you're thinking about it as a man out there, don't overly try to fight hard to prove that you're not a bad. Real people will know and be able to recognize it because of the show up in your character. If someone's experiences differentiate that and they make you out to be that, you just got to be okay with that. And I say that because I see on the internet all the time men get painted as the bad guy. And I always question, like, is he really a bad person, or is he just the bad person in your story? Is he just the villain in your story because you got to be the victim? And, you know, it's inevitable. And no matter how good of a man you is, you know, if you run into a woman that's victim-minded, she's going to paint you out of that. So don't think that you less of a man, and don't carry that energy into your next relationship. Stay a good guy and be understood, and be understanding to the fact that if you run into a woman that has that mindset, you might end up the bad guy. And that's okay because it's not on you.
And we can end the plane on this one real quick, and maybe we can.
Damn, where we at?
No,
where we at, Rick? We cool. We got
cool. But how about this? So the idea, you said when you take it to the next one.
Did you have any thoughts with that?
No, I think you just killed that.
All right.
Yeah, that was good.
Don't give me more credit.
It's a good day. Nice weather outside.
Yeah.
Um,
Good sweatsuit on with
yeah.
too.
Learning from your ego.
Ooh. Good topic. I wrote about it.
What have been certain experiences or certain chapters in your life, speaking of the book, where you felt like you literally just learned who you are more, learn from the ego, your ego evolved, or you realized you was carrying your ego too much with you? You know, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, because I wrote about it, and I could write a whole book on it, right? So many different elements I could talk about ego. And for me personally, I had to really silence my ego. Like humility is like the base of who I am. Like, I know I'm different, but I don't feel like I'm better than nobody. So I just like be uniquely me. But when you think about the male ego, it's two types of egos you can have. Let's say a weak ego or a strong ego. And weak in the sense of it being like it's easily bothered. It could be interchangeable to however you want to use it, but it's easily bothered. It needs validation. It's an external thing. Whereas though some people could just have this thing where, you know, they know how to tame it. It's like you got to be able to tame your ego and know when to have it. Like the ego is that sense of pride, essentially. That's like, you got me fucked up, I'm gonna show you. As men, we all have egos. We need our egos, and that's why it sucks when women try to destroy it. Because it's like, why try to destroy something that a man needs? Like he don't. Now the weak part of it, when he need all this validation. See, believe it or not, one good woman can stroke a man ego enough for him not to even be interested in another woman. But what tends to happen is the woman that he wanted from the most tends to withhold it, weaponize it, and put it out as this thing that she don't want to use because she don't want him feeling himself. And it tends to make him seek it from other women, which is where he becomes easily susceptible to trying to entertain other chicks. That's somebody whose ego is being destroyed. Some men just have a need and a desire to do that because they never learned how to tame their ego and learn what to use it for. Like, it's okay to be on the basketball court and feel like you that nigga. I'm gonna be the best nigga on this court. I'm that nigga. That's all ego. But it's not okay to be like that in the household. It's not okay to walk up to your kids like, yeah, I'm the wolf, so you better treat me like this. Who you talking? Like, now you're tripping. You're feeling yourself. And I always tell, even in my last relationship, I would say, like, y'all don't get, like, I don't come in here as this person I am to the world. I come in here completely with humility. I'm in here fucking cleaning up behind people. I'm in here serving people. I'm in here as a human being because that's what I am, even when I walk into the world, no matter the perspective that the world has or whatever they might experience me to be. When I come in here, ego aside, I had to learn to become that way because when you were successful, as long as I've been successful, had notoriety, as long as I had it, and coming from somebody who didn't have it and didn't obtaining it and feeling like, oh, y'all only fuck with me because I'm on this type of time, and you kind of see the world through that perspective, it can make you be feeling yourself. And for me, when I talked about conviction earlier, that was another thing where God showed me, like, nigga, you somebody, but you ain't nobody. And it wasn't like you ain't nobody, like you're a nobody. It's just like you ain't above none of this. Like, you're not above bad times. You're not above fuck ups. You're not above mistakes. You're not above ending a relationship. We know you know a lot about relationships, but nigga, you gonna have problems in your relationship too. We know that you wrote 2 books, but you don't got all the answers. So because that's my relationship from my accountability partner, which is God, I got humility, but it ain't a false sense of humility where I'm just humbling myself like I don't know who I am. I know exactly who I am, but I also know my shit stink too. So with that being the case, when we think about ego, as a man, you got to study your ego. You got to know what triggers you. Like, you got to know what makes you insecure. You got to know what empowers you and feed it healthily. Like, if you feel like you like being that nigga, it's okay to want that, but don't crave that in a way to where as though it's like, because the ego is an inflated sense of self, right? And look at it like a balloon. If it's weak, a motherfucker could just simply just say the one thing and it's like a thorn in it. Pop, it's gonna pop it. Motherfucker say, oh, your sneaks corny as shit. Now your whole day fucked up because your whole outfit made you who you was. You gotta be so steadfast within self that it don't matter what you got on. Like, I know who I am, whether I got some designer shit on, whether I'm wearing some regular shit. I make the clothes don't make me. I make the money don't make me. And I say that. So when your ego is strong, you know, like, I know when I need to feel like I'm him. I know when I need to lean on that, but I had to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? And it's in my book, Cheating Not Cheating. I talk about how it affects people in relationships. And I feel like in the art of accountability, I ain't talk about ego using the word, but I talked about how I self-reflected to become this person that lives with the humility within spirit while still being confident within self. Because I ain't about to shrink myself, but I don't got to sit here and boast neither. I know it's just, if you know, you know.
Absolutely. And to speak about like the other side of the spectrum in that regard, I feel like I had to go through life, especially in recent years, where I had to start realizing I could embrace my ego more.
Yeah.
And
I'm an advocate.
Right. So
be that nigga.
Yeah,
nigga, Q.
I've never been like an insecure guy in my life, to be honest. I've always been like, I'm a very laid back person.
Yeah.
So I would be like, oh no, like when I start like making certain moves in my life professionally and, you know, shit like that, money wise, I would, you know, I remember we had a moment when we was doing that business one time and I introduced myself and y'all was like, Q. Don't just say you're Q.
Yeah.
Like, don't just say you're Q.
Like, you the director of operations.
Right.
Like, you ain't no little. You like, you better claim your title. Like, you worked for that. You ain't get handed that.
Now, on the other side of that is I've seen people, to your point about the ego, where they lead with their ego and shit 100%. Like that, and I see how that can just be like just corny or like corny, inflated or whatever. But at the same time, understand if you it's a delicate balance. So if you don't embrace who you are and embrace your skill sets, your value, your power, whatever it may be, whatever, then people can just say whatever it is. Oh, no, if you don't say your value, and someone else can make your value for you, whatever. Yeah. So when I was making certain moves and kind of downplaying certain shit, I was no, it's kind of whatever. They're like, no, like clearly it's not whatever because other people aren't doing this.
I won't never let nobody I'm around downplay themselves. Even when you had that moment and like to tie the knot on it, it's like it's okay to have an ego, but the ego has to have boundaries for you and others. Like it's okay to know, like, all right, I'm around other people that are successful, but I'm not about to allow their success to intimidate me and make me forget who I am. And I also don't have to go into a measuring contest on who's more successful. Typically, that is the people that's insecure. And I'm glad you used that word because that's typically how people view ego, just from an insecure standpoint, because they only look at it when it's time for people to lead with their accolades and their credentials, and they're leading with the title, but the title is not who you are. You follow what I'm saying? It's like when you know who you are, that's where the good ego come in at, where it's like, no, I know who I am. Like, I'm the wolf. That's within spirit. That's not just a brand. That's not just a name. That's not just a title. It's like I really innately embody and exude the energy and the characteristics and the traits, and that's just who I am within self. So it's like me calling myself that is just me walking in what I know I already am. But I was the wolf before I started calling myself the wolf. That's like a motherfucker calling themselves the goat. It's like you don't got to take that in an arrogant way. It's just like that's how you feel about yourself. It's okay to feel highly about yourself. You just would be delusional to try to make others feel how you feel. Like I feel highly about myself. You don't have to agree. I'm okay with that because it's a self thing. The ego is weak when they need you to say it too. Like, I need you to tell me I'm the greatest. I need you to tell me I'm the GOAT. I embrace every compliment, see, because I always live by never let a compliment go to your head and never let an insult go to your heart. You got to be okay with both. Like, you could say I'm the worst fucking person, and you can say I'm the best person. I'm not taking neither of those things personally, and I'm not about to let the compliment make me feel like you heard what they saying about me. I'm him, and I'm not about to let the insult like you heard what they saying about me. It's like, no, I'm on some steadfast shit where it's like, all right, thank you. And, just living in that makes you be able to tame your ego. As a man, you got to. And as a woman, you better learn how to stroke a nigga ego, because the women that know how to stroke a nigga ego in a healthy way, not a toxic way, in a healthy way, get what they want. The chicks that make me feel like him unintentionally and all that, what you want? How much? You good? Like, you feel me? Because you making me feel good, so I want to return it.
Especially, like I said, not in a toxic way, and was a very natural way. That's their feminine energy.
Exactly.
Just,
you have some real feminine energy where she just like, just soft-spoken and just talking, and you just like, it's crazy. I just like, it be so non-sexual, but I'm just over here thinking sexual because of how she carried. Like, bro, that feminine energy, boy, I'm telling you, man, there's nothing like it.
And to break it super full circle, when you spoke about good compliment or insult, shout out to you, credit again. Are you ready?
Yeah,
more credit on camera.
I'm a little. It's not as shocking. You gave me my credit, so it's not a world breaking moment.
Got you.
You broke the ice now.
Word to you. So the first book I ever completely read in my entire life.
You don't got as much as you read it. Go ahead.
Cool. Was the 4 agreements, and word to one agreement is don't take it personally.
Don't take it personally.
And
I live by
now, if you ever read or whatever about 4 agreements, the one thing I did fuck with, again, it's 4 agreements. They're very simple, and how he dive deeply into all the different very simple terms and phrasing.
Bro, that's why the best
in and out he did or whatever. So when he went through the don't take it personal chapter, and he was talking about literally what you just said, like
that's probably where I be real. I govern my life through that, so I wouldn't be surprised.
right. And I was like, that makes all the sense in the world. The idea of like whether it's an insult or a compliment, don't take it personally.
Yeah,
you are who you are, and you need to be that before anything else comes your way in the first place.
The reason them 4 agreements changed my life is because everything that he talked about changing was things that I needed to work on. That was a groundbreaking moment for me. That right there helped with my ego, bro. Because like when I was a rapper, super duper ego. It's about really knowing, like, and I still feel like I'm one of the best rappers. I feel like people still can't rap me. I'm okay with that being my ego. I still feel like I'm a great football player. I still feel like it's certain people that just can't stick me on a football field. I still feel like I'm extremely intelligent, but none of this can go into arrogance. It's like I know exactly how talented I am. I still feel like I'm creative. I feel like I'm one of the best marketers ever. Like, to the point where people don't even understand how good I am at it, right? And what I mean by that, I'm just saying, like, it's a profession, but it's like, it's just something I know. Like, I'm confident in that. But I also understand where I'm not so good and where I do be a little I cook some shit, I'm looking like, what this nigga think about. Now, what you think ain't gonna shake my spirit, but what you think is like, cause I know I ain't the best at it, right? If I'm like, and I feel like having that sense of self allows me to navigate through the world where I'm like, I ain't really that good with this camera shit. So I'm gonna ask Rick. I ain't really good with time management. I don't got too much pride to ask you. I think you fuck up with your ego when you feel like you gotta know. I don't feel like I gotta know. You know, I'll call you in a second. Yo, Q, how I do this? And it's like for me to be so smart, motherfucker might think that this nigga probably think he know it all. But you firsthand know, like, no, this nigga Wolf will call me in a heartbeat. I'm like, hey, Reggie, how the fuck you do that? Like, why? Because I'm smart enough to know that you're smarter than me in certain areas. And I'm cool with that. My ego doesn't bother me because I know the areas I'm good at.
You know enough to know you know everything.
And the 4 agreements with the be impeccable with your word is why I'm very intentional about how I speak. You know, we don't talk about nothing negative.
Part,
We don't even acknowledge it. Even when I got out of the situation, I said, bro, I'm not gonna talk about the negative shit. I'm only gonna talk about whatever. Second thing, don't take anything personal, because I used to. I took everything personal. Everything was personal. This motherfucker, they knew I was hungry, but they ain't telling me they was about to go eat. Then when you realize, like, yo, you gotta be delusional to think that people spend their time thinking about you. Like, you're delusional if you think that people, when you are not around, not to say that it don't happen, but for you within self to be thinking that it's happening, that is overly arrogant. Like, you actually think that people got enough time in their day to sit around just thinking about you, whether good or bad. That's just too much, like, within self.
Because it's next chapter. Assumption.
It's assumption. It's the 3rd agreement. Don't make assumptions. That's another thing where I was trying to tell you within your pop, and I'm like, yo, like, don't assume you know where he's coming from just because he did that before. Give him the opportunity to speak for himself so you have evidence to support. With, like, I was telling, and we was running payroll the other day in one of my companies, and the guy was like, yo, how much you think it's gonna be? I said, how about we wait till they land, and then I'll fix the problem based on what's in the account, not based on what we think might happen, because it'll be evidence to support what's wrong versus us hypothetically speaking. I don't want to hypothetically speak. I want to speak with facts. And then the 4th point was always do your best. This is a subtle gem, because that's why I could walk away from all of my relationships. Not every last one. My first one I learned a lot from. But everyone since then, I knew that I was my best. And if my best ain't good enough, that's cool, because I know it don't get no better than that. It's not saying I can't get better than that. It's to say that what I did for what I had at the time was the best that I could do. So why would I sit here and ridicule myself because you might not feel like it's enough, when it's like you might be lacking or be overly stimulated, and it might be a thing where you got voids that I would never be able to fill. That's cool. And I'm not saying that's the dynamic.
Do at the time.
I just couldn't do it at the time. But I'm not saying that's the dynamic. But I'm saying I already go into a situation understanding that. So it's like your best gonna look different in different seasons. If you rich, your best gonna look different than if you poor. If you happy, your best gonna look different than when you mad, or if you sick, or if you healthy, your best is gonna look different. But when you do your best, you have no regrets. If you were sick as shit and you went into work and you gave it all you got, you walk out of there empty, because you're like, you know what, I gave it all I got. But if you could be sick or healthy, if you left a little bit to be questioned, you're gonna always have that cringy regret feeling of, why didn't I do this? There are a lot of people living with that why didn't I do moments because they didn't do their best going into it. Every situation I go into now, I make sure that I'm gonna leave it all on the floor. So even in my last relationship, everybody on the outside could see, like, yo, I was really I'm my therapist. I tried, and it's not like it was like a catastrophic break or none of that. It was just like, for me, it was just like, I see that I want to go this direction. Like, that's just what it is.
Off-ramp.
That's just what it is. But the fact of the matter is, I can feel that way comfortably knowing that, yo, I did my best. Like, I don't look back and be like, damn, what would I have did differently? Like, no, I really don't see that. Like, I tried. I'm a self-reflection king, and I'm like, I'm actually complete. I'm cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and to put a button on it, yeah, when I read through the 4 agreements, when I think about it, when I go do different things, and I think, oh, this, that one, I said, well, yeah, that's a pointless mental exercise. Yeah, and I feel like, especially with the assumption thing, as soon as I try to make assumptions, like, that's a pointless exercise. Like, it is, it's just pointless.
Don't that shit just be in your head now? The 4 agreements, bro. That's such a great book. Like, that shit changed my life. It inspired cheating and not cheating, which then trickled down into the art of accountability. But it all started from me utilizing them 4 agreements because they so simple. It's like, yo, I really, 80-90% of our communication really is gossip. That's why I don't do, we don't even talk about the people. Like, I could say that I always was good at that, but I could say that put the nail to it. Like, it was like, it's like, I'm never talking about, there's no reason to. I'm not even listening to it. It's like people want to talk about, unless it's sports. That's part of the thing that we talk about that's not associated with us, that because it's sports. But other than that, it's like, no, then don't take anything personal, because everything not about you. Then don't make assumptions. It's like, you might be wrong and you might be misviewing the situation, so you should get evidence to support it. And then the last thing, and the evidence can't be biased evidence. It has to be objective evidence, not subjective evidence. And the last thing is, always do your best. So,
gotta try your best.
You know what I mean? Where we at right now?
We can land planer.
You're perfect. So if you out there, go read the 4 agreements After you read the 4 agreements, go watch The Secret on Amazon Prime. After you watch The Secret, you should be a newly reformed person. Go read Cheat is Not Cheating, because now you will remove all your biases and your subjectivity when looking at the title and actually be able to interpret the book from a non-biased space. And then after you're done reading Cheat is Not Cheating, read Art of Accountability. And I'm not just saying this, I'm literally saying that's the 4 things you need to do that'll change your life immediately. Like, you will become a completely different person. Then after that, for the people that are married or in a relationship, go read Q's 3-step book.
That's a fact. Oh, I got a 6th one though.
All right, go ahead.
I'm a reader too now.
All right, go ahead.
No, the best book I've read.
I thought you was promoting your
No,
book.
I'm with you. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're king. But no, the best book I've read thus far is called Originals, and I forgot the subtitle.
Check it out.
Originals, and about nonconformists. 5-star. I was amazed from start to finish. Mad Jones, mad bars.
Send it to me.
Got you. Yeah.
And,
So
we can go. It's a lot of. I got too many books. We can probably start giving them suggestions
I'm with
now that you're a reader.
hey,
And we give some movie suggestions too.
hey, all right. Hey,
Let's add that to start. And as we start ending the episode, we're going.
docs.
Yeah, we're going. Yeah, docs too.
Yeah, docs,
Because I'm gonna start watching more TV. I got more time. I got more free time. But all in all, man, as y'all know, for once again, check out her fantasy box. Don't forget to hit up Mogul Lean for all of your credit needs. I gave y'all the number in the beginning. I'm sorry that I'm not going to pull up the phone and give you the number again. But make sure you go back and get it. What you about to say?
Simply.
Oh, make sure for sure. It's Simply 100. Make sure I shop with them. For one, this quality is amazing. This fit is amazing. The color, they got other colors. But this whole sweatsuit, like, this is my vibe. Like, I'm feeling it. This is new for me. We were just talking about the changes and the trends and how we got to adjust. And one thing I'll say about this brand is the quality. I met the owner of it. Super dope. Young black man on his way up. We want to support, keep the dollar in the community. And I definitely support it. And they sponsored me as well. So, I want to help them as much as possible because I feel like they deserve it, not because for any other reason. So make sure y'all do that. Aside from that, though, we want y'all to get, that's my mom calling too. I should have feature on the pod, but that's not another day. We want y'all to get 1% better every day. The way y'all do that is by watching things like this, reading books like the ones we recommended, and just staying around other people who are also trying to get better. Y'all know what the tagline is, man. Do not gatekeep this information. As y'all let people know, we grow. And we want that for y'all. We also want to grow. And like I said in previous episodes, man, be intentional about putting people on so y'all can share conversations and, grow and develop at the same rate in the same way because y'all sharing the same space and we all a part of the same community. Other than that, man, I want y'all to follow us on the internet. On the internet, it's hilarious. Follow us on Instagram at wolfnetwork.ws. You got social accounts. wolfnetwork.wsc on Instagram. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe on the Wolf Network. Make sure y'all listening to all streaming platforms, the Wolf Has Spoken podcast. Make sure y'all hit us off an advertisement, wolfnetworkwsc@gmail.com. And make sure y'all follow me at wolfwsc. And who else can they follow?
Right on
Ricky
Q,
B. Philly.
Before we get to Ricky.
Take no, go ahead.
Right on Q Live. Woof, woof, woof. But no, right on Q Live as on the right side on QUE Live. Right on Q Live.
Make sure y'all follow Q, man. We're trying to get Q to 1,000 followers.
I lost my page.
No, I think I'm going to help you. I think I'm going to get you to a dime.
I'm totally fine with mine.
I'm pretty. See what I did with the network page?
I did.
Yeah. Your page is like your page is a Facebook.
MySpace? I got a top 8.
5 friends, top 8. Yeah, man. But make sure y'all continue to share this out. Continue to stay tapped in. Until next time, man, we'll see y'all soon. The Wolf Has Spoken. We out.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man.